It's Oklahoma Archery. Everything archery based out of Oklahoma for Oklahomans. Let's get it started. Hello, everybody. I'm David Bosca, and this is the Oklahoma Archery Podcast.
I'm Neil Cooley, and today we got a very special guest with us. See if we can bring him on the screen there. What's up, Kyle Douglas? How are you, brother?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
We're
pretty good, man. Are you still coming off the high from winning Lancaster, or are you more excited to get into Foley by now?
There's both. I'm always excited to win a big event, but as soon as that one's done, I just roll into the next one and try and win that one.
Yeah. Well, we want to welcome Kyle Douglas to the Oklahoma Archery Podcast. You missed our little ditty indoor in bringing everything in. We appreciate you taking time out. I know you got a lot going on, especially trying to get ready to head to Foley. We'll keep this short and sweet, probably under 5 hours, but we'll do our best. Let's start out with my favorite question for everyone. Why don't you tell everyone about your setup and what you're shooting? You can go indoor, outdoor, since there's still some indoor left over. Do both.
So I'm running the same bow for both. Well, I guess different bows, but the exact same model. I'm running the Mathews Title 38. I just seem to really get along with usually around a 37, 38-inch bow typically. So that one works out really well for me. And then setup-wise, other than arrows and, like sights, it's pretty dang similar between indoors and outdoors normally for me. I run 60 pounds indoors, 70 pounds for 3D. But yeah, nothing too special there.
Which arrows and everything are you switching around?
Yeah, so I run the triple X's indoors with a little bit different setup. A little heavier point, bigger vanes on the back, and then for 3D, the plan is right now to run triple X's. They moved us back to 50 yards this year, so last year we went to 60. I had better luck with the X cutters, just keeping my speed up a little bit. But this year moving back to 50, the plan is just to run triple X's. I usually put like 150 up front. And as far as the rest of the bow goes, I'm trying to think. I run a hamskea rest, hamskea peep, bowfinger sight, downrange optics lens. Trying to think what else we got on there. Q2i vanes. That's most of it.
Well, my question is, with things like that, I know you're heavily sponsored. You are one of the best shooters in the United States and around the world. Let's say someone comes to your shop. It's a buddy. You see him twice a year. He's a hunting guy, and he's come up with this wonderful new widget. And he says, Kyle, I want you to try this for me. Do you ever jump out and say, okay, yeah, just leave it here. I'll get to it. Or you pretty well setting your stuff and like, I'm not changing anything to just try it?
So usually normally I'll have a bow set up that's rocking and rolling pretty good. And then I'll always have another bow that I'm kind of tinkering with. If I'm going to mess with something, I'm not going to do it on my main bow. I'm going to do it on another bow that I'm kind of have set aside to play with new things. I get asked all the time to try new stuff, and some of it I'm super excited to try. It looks like a good idea. Other stuff I can kind of take one look at it and I'm probably not the guy that's going to use that. So it just kind of depends on what it is. But yeah, I'm always, trying new things and trying to come up with new things. But it seems like I always end up mostly back to the same setup.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I just thought I'd ask.
What about your scope magnification? Are you running a 6X?
Yeah, I run a 6 power for everything. So indoors, I run just a black dot on my lens. And then for 3D, I run a 15 thou blue fiber.
Perfect.
Yeah.
B clarifier?
Yeah, normally a B will clear it up pretty good for me.
That's where I'm at with it. It's like I put a C in one time and I couldn't tell much difference, but my pen just kind of I didn't get enough benefit from it. And I think I actually just I shoot a pretty small aperture, and it gave me so much more clarity than switching from a B to a C. And I was like, okay. I know everybody's always bouncing around clarifiers trying to see rings at 45 yards. It's like, really, you just got to kind of see the 10 ring and know where they're at is what I kind of try to tell people. But everybody's eyes are different, so it's hard to pin it down.
Yeah, some guys have really good eyes, or they get just an amazing scope setup going where they can see rings really well. I would say mine isn't anything special as far as that goes. I like a clear scope. but I want to try and run as low power a clarifier as I can and still clear things up, because then my pin doesn't wash out super bad on me.
Yeah.
And I like to run a decent sized peep for 3D. If I run a smaller peep, it does tend to clear things up just a little bit. But if I go too small, then if we get in dark lanes and stuff like that, I just can't get enough light through the peep to see well. So there's always like a balance there, and you never get it perfect. It doesn't seem like I've ever found a sight picture that's absolutely amazing where I can see the target crystal clear, my pin is still perfect, and I get plenty of light in. So you're just kind of trying to find the happy medium usually.
On some of the ASAs, like when you go to London, do you carry them with you in case it's just too dark when you get out there? Or do you switch them ahead of time?
So I'll usually always have extra stuff with me just in case. Normally, I mean, I've shot London enough now that I pretty well know what I'm going to need, but I will have all this stuff there just in case I have to make a change on the fly. I definitely want the ability to do that.
What's a pre-ASA week look like for Kyle Douglas?
Oh, it just depends on the week and what we got going as far as the shop, and if I'm just getting home from another tournament or if I've had time to kind of get ready and stuff. Yeah, so like for me, today all morning I've been working on dialing in arrows and making sure that my arrows are shooting good. I actually ran down to Gillingham's house and borrowed his shooting machine for a while and shot in all my arrows on that. And then I got to build a sight tape tonight and kind of get the rest of my bow dialed in. I've been messing with it and I've got it shooting good. So I just got to build the tape and make sure my arrows are all Noctune good and all that kind of stuff. But, sometimes I come home and I've got a whole pile of bows at the shop that need worked on. So I'm here, all day long till midnight working on bows sometimes, and then pack up and leave in the morning. So you never know what it's going to look like. What's
your go-to day to leave?
Typically for ASAs, we leave on Wednesdays usually. Get there Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, and then we got Thursday to practice and shoot the team shooting stuff before we start shooting on Friday.
Yeah, be good. What are you using for sight tape building?
Precision cut archery is what I've been running the last few years since it kind of came out. He's done a really good job with that. I really like that program. He's changed a lot of stuff on that compared to what some of the older stuff is, and I'm really liking the way that works.
Had one of my buddies built me one of those the other day. Got the lab radar chronograph where it takes your measurement here and takes it at 80. He was like, "All right, that's your sight tape. If you miss, it's on you, bud."
Yeah. So I'd never tried it with the lab radar until a few months ago or so. And I picked up a lab radar and tried it, and it was actually dead on the very first time I tried it. So we'll see it. I never trust anything that just works once or twice. I have to kind of validate over time. I've always just put in the 2 or 3 marks and done it that way. But I'm going to go try this tape that I'm building for Foley this week. I'm going to try it with a lab radar and see how it works. If it doesn't work, I'll just go back to doing it the normal way.
Okay. I'm still an old Archer's Advantage guy. What is this taking it down range? Is that your second mark, obviously?
Yeah. So what it does is the lab radar will actually read your speed of your arrow at different ranges as it's going, because it's actually a radar. So you'll set it to pick up your speed at like 20 and then at like 65. And then there's inputs in the program where you can just put in those 2 speeds. And then you don't have to put in like 2 sight marks. All you have to do is sight in 1 sight mark to set your indicator, and then everything else is done. So
nice. Okay. I see why I've heard other people talking about it, but I never actually stopped and asked the question. Okay. I guess that would be a lot quicker.
When I was using David Griffin's a couple of weeks back, I was like, man, that thing, he's like, you want to borrow it? And I was like, no, dude, that's probably way too expensive. I don't want to lose it, get it stolen out of my truck or anything. He's like, dude, they're between like $500 and $600. So it's literally the same price as the little Garmin Arrow that I've got. I take it to all the ASAs in case there's ever a protest for a speed violation. The yardage judging guys will run a hot bow every once in a while. So I've got that in my truck, and it's like, man, I think I paid $550 for that. If I'd have known the lab radar was just as the exact same price, I'd have got one of those any day of the week, but didn't know. So now I got to call my buddy, and I put 2.5 turns in my limbs now, so my sight tape's way hot. Got to leaving in 2 days, still not dialed in yet. But
join the club.
Yeah, it happens, but it's just part of it. Throughout the year, I'll leave it a little hot early on because I mainly shoot lowers, and I like to try to stay on the safe side of them. So I'll run a hot sight tape so I can aim right at them. If I bobble low, have a dip bang, anything like that, it gives me a little bit of forgiveness. But I've had a couple of those tournaments where it's like, man, you're just out the top. You know, if you're at 11 o'clock or 1 o'clock, you're just not going to catch a ring. And it's like, man, I should have bumped down in sight tape and just, you know, swung for the bleachers. But it is what it is.
What your Friday mornings normally look like at an ASA, getting ready, or what time you get up and get around and get out to the ranges?
So I can't remember what time we shoot now. That it seems like it changes a little bit every year, but I want to say Fridays we shoot at like 9. So we'll get up early, grab some breakfast, and then head over. And if I have time, you know, if it's light enough, early enough, I kind of like to warm up on the 3Ds a little bit. Most of the time when they have a fairly early shoot time, I just have to warm up on the bags and then go over to shoot because it's not light enough to shoot 3D super early and the lines can be pretty long there. So it just kind of depends on when the shoot time is and whatnot. But I try and get, some decent breakfast in me. That way I'm not running out of gas halfway through the round and kind of getting shaky and whatnot, and just kind of get good and loosened up and warmed up.
Do you travel with some snacks and stuff?
Yeah, I'll always have stuff in my stool with me. I try and always have water, or Gatorade or something, and then maybe some protein bars or some trail mix or something. Typically I don't get too bad, but sometimes if it's been a while since I've eaten, I'm getting pretty hungry, almost starting to get just a little bit shaky. So it's nice to have a little bit of something with you just in case.
Yeah, it's not like you could take a ribeye or anything.
So they would probably make a killing if they'd put a vendor halfway out there, because it's the trek back to the vendor village. It might be 2 miles. I mean, it's half an elk hunt just getting from the vendor village to your range. If you're at the very back of one of those lines, it's like, dang.
Oh yeah, some little kid needs to set up a lemonade stand along that road going back.
Yeah, I'm worried they'd charge him $5,000 to set up a booth there. He's going to have a hard time breaking even on a weekend. That's I was going to say, I know we're still kind of in indoor. Do you have any difference in? I know you said you shoot the same bow, a little less poundage for indoor. Do you load up the bars going outdoors, or is your stabilizer weight pretty much the same between the two?
It's usually pretty much the same between the two. Normally, I'll just grab the bars off that bow, stick them on my other one, and roll with it.
There you go. What are you running weight wise? So
I've actually been screwing with that a little bit this year. Normally, I'm running, 25, 26 out front, 28 out back on a 30, and then I have a 15 out the back, but it's mounted off the front stabilizer hole. This year, before indoor, like right at the start of indoor season, I was messing around with a bunch of stuff. And actually dropped my holding weight down a little bit and dropped my front weight down a little bit. And it seems to be holding really good on this bow for me. I want to say I've got like 22 out front and 28 out back right now, I think. So a lot lighter than what I'm normally used to, but it seems to be holding really well for me.
Dave's a front mount fan. I've never mastered it.
Well, yes and no. I've got a Title 40, and this one I particularly have got going right now. I'm coming off of the bottom down low, and I've got it really low. I've always had just a slight bias in it, not much, but just a slight bias in the back bar. But this one, I've got it's a 15-inch bar, and it kicks out just almost to the bottom of the bottom cam. And I guess it's 8 inches, 9 inches out from it. But man, it is sitting in my hand really nice like that.
Yeah.
What do you we've been through that 3D stuff. Forget it and everything.
Dave's the indoor guy. I'm the 3D guy. So you're just stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
Are you worried this year moving Vegas back into the 3D season that you're going to have to juggle 2 different bows, or is it just kind of routine for you at this point?
I mean, you just do whatever you have to do. I wish it was earlier. It seems like we used to, almost was like indoor and then we'd switch to 3D. Now it's like indoor 3D, and just kind of bouncing back and forth. So, it's not always my favorite, and it kind of takes me a minute to, adjust and get used to the different bows again. So it's kind of a pain in the butt, but, it is what it is. And whenever they hold the tournaments is whenever I have to shoot them. So I just make sure I'm ready for it.
with the Vegas coming up with this announcement that they had of this type of targets. What's your thoughts on that?
I really like the new shoot off targets. The inside out deal, the goal they were trying to accomplish is to make a little bit more exciting show for the crowd and make the shoot off go, take less time, basically make the shoot off go faster. And the smaller target, I think, accomplishes both of those, but in a better way. It's not, the targets kick so bad and stuff. It's hard with inside outs to really keep things fair. And then, you have to worry about whether you're going to switch arrows or not switch arrows. And then there's just it's a lot simpler, better, easier way to do it with just, hit a smaller target. It's still accomplishing the same thing, but you just have to shoot better rather than trying to get lucky. And not that it's luck sticking one inside out, but there's definitely a little bit of luck involved because you can make the most absolute perfect shot ever and still not be inside out.
Yeah, especially with the lay of the arrow. And I heard where they talked about there's an opportunity. We're not going to say there is. So an opportunity that a different target face for the shoot off might be up there. So that'll be interesting to see what they come up with. Yeah.
I think you're spot on talking about the padding of the target. Once it's disturbed a few times, you can have it perfect in there and it's going to kick left, right, center, up, down. And it's going to look like that arrow was not exactly where it landed. We had one of our indoor ranges switched bails a few years ago. And before that, when we would do our Vegas jackpot nights, we would have guys bringing cardboard and they would put their Vegas face on the cardboard. Cause they're like, if I make that shot, I'm not going to let that bail screw me out of a call. Cause it'd break the line and just kick sideways. And you're like, there's no way it's down there. That was an absolute perfect shot. And you come in and it's like, you got like a paper tear in there like that. I'm like, oh, check your tune, man. I don't know. It's like, no, it's the bail. It's like, man, the indoor guys are getting as many excuses as the 3D guys. That's like,
hey now.
He said, I think it's pulling line. I was like, man, we ain't at foam yet, man. We're still shooting paper. It's November. You ought to be in the deer hunting woods, but here we are shooting indoor. As far as like 60 yards versus 50 yards at Foley, did you like the 60-yard experiment? I know you had a good year. Do you have any preference as far as what the pro class max should be if you could have it either way?
Yeah, to me, I really like the 60-yard max a lot better. It just seemed like there's a little bit more room in scores and stuff where at 50 yards, the scores get so crazy high that stuff like, glance outs or drawing last on a target and having everything plugged up or just weird things like that affect who makes the shoot off way more than it does at 60. Because at 60, there's a little bit more gap in the scores. The scores aren't quite so high. So if you have something like that happen, you have a little bit more room to make it up. And, say you hit a 12 on a 60-yarder and a few other guys miss it, well, then you can kind of make that up. But 50 yards, it seems like it's almost like you have to hit every single 12. And then the ones that you mess up, it's more like, how many did I miss? Not how many did I hit? So I'm definitely a big fan of the 60 yards, and I'm pretty bummed that we have to go back to 50 this year.
I think in a couple years they could solve that problem. And I know it was because it was another range to set that only one group of guys got to shoot it. I think they've had such a huge turnout, at least here in Oklahoma, from the Hunter 45 guys. I'm like, these are dudes that shoot tack year round. They'll travel all over the country to go to different tack events. Give the Hunter class a 60-yarder and let them shoot it after the pros. And that way you've got another group of longer range, like, hey, we want to air it out. And I think you would see a lot of those guys come over here and try it. I know the ASA has that big end of year fun shoot thing in Tennessee. They're doing that. Are you planning on going to that one?
Yeah, that's the plan. It's over the top of Dakota Classic and Outdoor Target Nationals, which kind of sucks, but I'm definitely planning, as of right now, I'm planning on going to the ASA one. It's hard to beat that payout, so you kind of got to give it a whirl.
Yeah, $60,000 is hard to turn down.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm the same way. I wish, in my opinion, there's no reason we couldn't move every pro class out to 60 yards, and just have everybody shoot the same. That way we could just set all the ranges the same. The shoot off wouldn't screw with stuff there, and the practice range and all that could just kind of be the same. In my opinion, if you can't shoot out to 60 yards, it's it's hard to be able to be considered a pro archer if you can't hit a whole rubber deer at 60 yards. And maybe in like the women's class with unknown, that might be a little bit tougher or something where their bows aren't maybe going quite as fast and stuff. But especially everything known for sure, I think it's pretty easy to go out to 60 yards.
Yeah, technology advancing every time. Like, I don't think, like, we've got a lot of guys in like men's pins 30 as a beginner class. We have exactly one guy in the state of Oklahoma that shoots men's pins 40. It's like, man, make it 30, 50, and 70. Let them shoot. Bows are getting better and better. And, you might have 2,000 or 3,000 people show up to a TAC event. And at a pro-am, you got 1,200 to 1,500. It's like, come on, guys, you gotta read the room and give the people what they want. But I guess they don't want to clear lanes out to 70 yards.
Yeah.
Well, that's I got a question on that. We were talking about the changes that Vegas has made, the changes the ASA has made. Calling your position there, do you ever snag a phone call from any organization, not one or the other, but any of them? Do they do a straw poll with the pros and go, hey, we're looking at this, here's some options, we want to do the right move up front? Does any of them ever call you and go, what's your thoughts?
No, they never call and ask anything like that. Maybe I'm just not high enough on the totem pole. Maybe there are some people that they do call, and
I'm not sure about that, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, as far as from my perspective, we'll talk sometimes at tournaments and kind of, express our opinions and give ideas and stuff like that. But I've never had like a call from an organization or something like, hey, we're thinking about changing this rule. What do you guys think? I've never had anything like that. No.
I guess that's where the old professional union would have came in. They would have came to the union and said something.
Yes, I think we do have like a pro chair in NFA anyways. I don't know if we do it in ASA or not, but they're supposed to kind of be like the advocate for the pros or whatever. NFA is like our pro chair. So, yeah, you kind of, if you have something that you would like to see changed or whatever, we try and voice our opinion a little bit, and you don't want to push back too hard. And, you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you. At the same time, you kind of want to make the rules the best that we think they can be.
Yeah, that Saturday 7:30 a.m. shoot time for the pros is just not. I don't agree with that. You got the most elite talent in the world, and they're all out there almost in like you wouldn't shoot a deer in the woods at some of these lighting conditions, and it's like they're looking at a blob down there, and this is for thousands and thousands of dollars. Like, we got to push that back to 9:30, 10. It's not so much about when is our TV slot for the shoot down, or what does everybody want to, when can everybody be here for the shoot down? It's like, this is a competition based on precision and accuracy, guys. Like, I don't want them shooting at 7:31 on a javelina at 50 yards in a hole. Like, that's just not. I mean, we're here to see who's the best at shooting archery. Like, don't make it a crapshoot if you're leading off on a dark target first 2 or 3 of the day. And I remember it was a couple of years ago, they had somebody, I can't remember who it was. They called breakdown because they drew first on a dark target, called breakdown, went over there and sat for 45 minutes and didn't shoot a breakdown arrow, and came back and they're like, all right, my bow's fixed, I'm ready to go. It's like, now I don't know what they changed the rule to where you actually have to have something mechanical fail on there, not just buying yourself 45 minutes of daylight. But it's like, man, don't put the guys that are, doing this for a living in that position to where if it's overcast in 7:30, you just don't have a chance. It's just not.
Yeah, it can be pretty tough sometimes. You get dark in the morning and you can barely see the targets when it's getting light. And I kind of understand why they do it, because they want us to be the first ones to shoot the targets before they're all shot up and stuff. If they have a amateur group shoot first and then us, and they're trying to fit everybody in the day and stuff. So I just, I definitely wish we could shoot later in the day. It would definitely be a lot nicer and the lighting conditions would be way better. But, I just kind of take it is what it is. And I have to just, shoot my bow whenever they tell me to shoot my bow and make the most of it. So, but yeah, it would be really nice if we could move back later in the day for sure.
But everybody in theory is shooting at the same time. So yeah.
Yeah. And especially like the second day where we're peer grouped, it's not as big of a deal. Because you're on the same portion of the course. The top couple of targets are all right there together, so it's not as big a deal as if say like one group is facing into the sun and one's facing away from the sun. That could totally change the the whole dynamic if it wasn't peer grouped like that. So it does make it a lot more fair, on the second day being peer grouped when we have to start early.
Yeah.
I know you don't have control over who's in your group, but if you had to pick 4 guys to shoot with to have the most fun on the known pro side of things, who would you have in your group?
I don't know. There's so many guys out there. I really like shooting with a whole bunch of different folks. I'm not too super picky on my group. As long as somebody's not whining and complaining the whole time, I'm pretty happy camper usually.
That'd usually be me. It's like I'm keeping score because y'all aren't gonna like me if I'm calling. That's the only thing I'll say. I'll grab a set of scorecards. I don't want to pull. I don't want to score. I'll give me a set of the cards, and it'd be a lot better day for everybody.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Are you mostly uppers, lowers, whatever's available, whatever you can see?
I definitely tend more towards upper than lower, mostly because if my miss tends to be low more than it tends to be high as a rule of thumb. And I can kind of see the uppers better on a lot of the targets. But I'll walk up to a target, and whatever one I look at that I think I have the best chance of hitting, that's what I'm shooting at. So if I walk up there and the upper's plugged, the lower's good, or there's a really good, muscle line or definition or something on the lower 12, then I'll go for that. Or, I just kind of take it target by target. And when I walk down there and glass the target, whatever one looks the best to me, that's what one I'm going to shoot.
On your tuning processes, which ones do you tend to go with more? Do you paper? Do you bare shaft? Do you walk back? Which ones are your go-tos to feel comfortable with on a setup?
Yeah, so I'll usually start with a paper tune. Way more often than not, I'll start with just a little bit of a high left tear. It seems like I always end up running kind of a high left tear. And then as much as I hate to say it, I end up just kind of group tuning from there, which I say I don't like it because there's not a definitive way to do that. It's just kind of feels like I'm just guessing and moving my rest all over the place until all of a sudden it seems to shoot better. But I definitely do think that there is something to that, and I can't prove or explain exactly why it works. But I do seem to find a sweet spot on the bow where it just is a little bit more forgiving to my mistakes, which typically is about a half inch to an inch high left tear for me on most setups, but every bow and every setup's just slightly different for me.
So that's what my follow-up was going to be. So then if you went back and checked the paper, what would it have been? Yeah. So, yeah.
Get away from the paper tear pretty quick. Yeah, I'm a walk back guy. I haven't shot a bare shaft in quite a while, at least on a 23 or 25 down. On the skinny arrow bow, I had one a couple of years ago that bare shaft tuned better than anything I've ever shot, and it just shot horribly. I was like, my bare shaft tune is smoking right now. I mean, they were just top and bottom, 20 yards on out, and I couldn't hit anything with it. I don't know, and I haven't bare shaft tuned anything since then, but mostly a walk back guy.
I got one other two other notes I wanted to ask about, and I think you own Douglas Archery. We know the Rushmore Rumble was at the ATA this year. Do you go to the ATA as Douglas Archery, or do you go there as Kyle Douglas and have to go sit in a booth for vendors?
Yeah, so I didn't go, I didn't do anything there for my shop this year. And it's hard for me being a Western guy where I can't drive to the show or anything. It's really hard to see any value out of that investment as far as going to the show, because I can sit at home and make a phone call to the rep and get the same show specials as I can at the actual show. So there's really no point. Everything's already, normally most companies launch before the show anyways. So we've already seen all the new stuff. We've already got it on order. So going to the show doesn't really benefit me any. It was just, I go there for the tournament and then, obviously hang out in the sponsor booths and, kind of be available for people that way.
Pay the bills, basically.
Yeah.
Do you have somebody that can keep the shop open when you're off at tournaments for you, or do you got to close up till you get back Monday, Tuesday?
No, I've got some guys to keep it open for me.
There you go. I was like, I know your travel schedule's got to be crazy.
Yeah, if the shop was only open when I'm home, we wouldn't make any money because I'm gone a lot.
It's got to have good help.
Yeah, that's a huge thing with the shop, and it's hard to to find good help and hard to keep good help.
That's no kidding there. I own a business, and I'm telling you what, it could be a revolving door. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of local? Is there a lot of ASA out in Utah, or are you mostly over in Tim's backyard shooting his targets?
There's basically no ASA out here. I don't know of anybody that really has any ASA style tournaments or anything out here. And to me, honestly, usually the first time I shoot 3Ds, which like this year, the first time I'll get to shoot a 3D target is in Foley. I don't really ever practice on them at home or anything. If I was an unknown guy, absolutely, I'd have a whole range at home so I could practice judging and stuff like that. But being a known guy, I just draw some little dots on a piece of cardboard, name it that, and if I know, I can tell whether or not my bow is shooting well. And here or there, I'll go try and find a target just to shoot a few times or something to make sure I'm not seeing anything different on 3Ds versus what I'm seeing on shooting dots. But it's definitely not near as important to have the targets as a known guy as an unknown shooter would need them.
I've been twisting their arm for 2 years saying, look, the two biggest ASA states in the Federation are Oklahoma and Texas. You got to get out west. I mean, you got guys that are, you and Tim and Paige and everybody out there on the other side of the country are flying east 6-7 times a year. We got to start heading west. And they're like, it's just not on our agenda right now. So it's like, well, come on, there's people out there that love doing it. You gotta come on this side of the Mississippi River, and it's like it's a southeastern thing. I don't know.
It is, yeah. They just kind of stay in their home turf over there, but I think it could take off out here. The hardest part about out west is the population density is a lot more kind of spread out to where a lot of where the ASAs are. There's so many people that can drive to the event rather than having to fly to the event. But I think it would be cool even to just do like a Western circuit to try it out or something like that at first and whatnot. But there's a lot of people out here that are like dying to go to an ASA, but it's hard to, cough up all the money to fly out there to one and stuff. It's not just a quick little weekend trip to, a state or two over. It's a lot bigger deal to go to one for guys out here. But we're starting to see more and more guys from home go to the ASAs. Like there's a big group from the range here at home that's heading down to Foley this year, and everybody's super pumped to go down there and kind of see what the ASA is all about.
So it's the best place to be. You can forget your bow at home and not miss a target. Like every vendor, every pro, like you'll learn so much. Probably be shooting a totally different setup by the time it's there. I mean, you can dry fire your bow on the first shot and probably get back there that day. It's like, well, yeah, I left my sight at home and I was on the stake for target number 1.
Yeah.
It's just not advisable to do that, but you have that possibility. I've only put my bow on an airplane twice, and it's been bad. They lost. I was going on a bear hunt in Canada. They left it in Chicago, so I was hunting the first 2 days with the outfitter's bow that's like 2 inches longer than me and 23 years old. And I was like, Dad, I don't even think this is ethical, man. I don't know if I can pull this back on a bear. He's like, well, they're gonna take a puddle jumper and kick your bow off. And the next time I put it on a plane to Africa and shot an arrow, and it was 2 feet to the left. My dad's like, a little nervous, a little jumpy or something. Shot another arrow 2 feet to the left and in the dirt. Turned it over this way, looked at it, turned it over that way, and my little QAD rest, boom, fell on the dirt right there. I was like,
oh man,
this is bad. So we drive everywhere now. That's been the only 2 times it's been on an airplane, and it's just never again. Like we drive Oklahoma to Vegas even. It's like 16 hours, but at least I know my bow's with me the whole time.
Yeah, I wish I could drive to more. For me, Vegas and Reading are about the only 2 that are really tournaments that I ever drive to. Everything else I've got to fly to. I mean, I could drive, but it's just not worth it going that far.
What's your Olympic plans?
There's the question.
Oh, I don't know how that even works. I need to look at, kind of how the whole trials process and stuff will work and whatnot, but I'm sure I'll give it a run and see what happens. How can you not when they're going to offer compound in the Olympics?
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome to say you tried. I mean, someone's got to go.
Yeah, that's what I see. Way I see it, somebody's got to go. Might as well be me.
Yeah, I've been watching the Winter Olympics, and we got that one skier. She blew her knee out on that first run. Bless her heart. I hate to hear it, see it, but she did take the place of someone else now. Yeah. So someone's got to go.
I think it's going to come down to scheduling. What events are you going to have to give up going to hit the qualifications? And the last episode we dropped was one of the names, Tom Stevenson. He kind of walked through what we speculate the compound qualification process. He's an Olympic recurve guy, so he could tell you all about how they do that side of it. But it's kind of still they've released like their pathway to the Olympics, so we have some details, but not all of it's basically set in stone yet. So we're all kind of up in the air, like, okay, there's going to be, at least a man and a woman that are going. How do we figure it out? And how are you going to squeeze, what do you say, 7 or 8 qualification events in there? It's like, there's not 8 weekends in the archery calendar in a year, but there's no way. Like I'm like, how between the NFAA stuff, the skinny arrow stuff, the orange dot stuff, the foam shoot, it's like the ASA. I mean, even I guess you don't IBO, do you?
No, I haven't jumped in the judging game yet.
Tim, you're on your own for this one, buddy. Get out there and go get them. But there's really, I mean, I don't know where you could fit another 7 to 8 weekends a year out of it. And I guess it only come around every 4 years, but still, it's like, I don't know if the people are gonna, because a lot of people are contractually obligated based on what companies they shoot for to go to X amount of these tournaments, X amount of these, X amount of these. So how are you gonna juggle going and competing for money to try to win the U.S. Olympic spot where they're probably going to make you pay for everything out of your own pocket and shoot for free? Like, okay, it's a great honor to shoot for your country, but I got bills to pay, man.
Yeah, it's tough. That's why I don't do a whole lot of the USAT stuff. I do more the ASA and NFAA. Is just, it pays better. And so why not? If I can go shoot my bow and try and win something rather than go, now they're starting to get a little better at USA Archery, but, it's hard. There's just not as much incentive there.
Yeah, Go ahead, Drew.
No, I'm good. I'm golden.
I say, I know you've been chasing the Lancaster win you've been right there a couple of times since you've won Lancaster. What's your next bucket list archery tournament that you want to go take first at?
Reading is the last one that I really have on my list that I've never won, that I've always really wanted to get. There's still a few tournaments here and there that I haven't won yet, but just about all of the, the major events that we go to, I've won them at some point or another. But for whatever reason, Reading and Lancaster had always eluded me. So finally got Lancaster. Now I just got to see if I can pick up the win in Reading and get that one locked down.
Yeah.
I've been up to the orange dot shoot they do in Indiana. It's the NFAA Midwest Trail Classic. I've never been to Reading. I want to go to it, but it's just been, I haven't decided to just make it happen one year. And I keep telling people, it's like, there's 3D all over the country. It just might be skinny arrow, 101 yards with an orange dot on it. It's like, yeah, you can aim middle. You've always got something to see. You get all the distance you want. You get 2 arrows per target. Like, it's awesome. I don't know why we don't do it everywhere, but being the ASA guy around here, it's like blasphemy.
Yeah.
Well, Kyle, I think we've ran the gamut. We won't keep you anymore. We appreciate it. We may have some Oklahoma ASA stuff we'll run through here. Would you run through your sponsors and where people can follow you on all the social medias?
Yeah, there's a whole list of sponsors. I hope I don't leave anybody out. Trying to think. So, obviously Mathews is the big one. Bow Company's always your big sponsor. Gold Tip Bee Stinger, Shrewd Scopes, Bowfinger Sights, Hamskea. I really like their rests and peeps. Q2I Vanes. I'm trying to think of what else. Lancaster, Last Chance, Downrange Optics. I'm sure I'm probably forgetting somebody and leaving somebody out, but huge thanks to all those guys. They support me and help me do what I do. And then, as far as myself, I'm on Facebook and Instagram as the main places that people could find me. And then I'm also working on getting some stuff on YouTube. Sooner or later, we'll get that thing started up. I kind of been dragging my feet a little bit. But hopefully here in the near future, we'll get some stuff going on there.
Well, Kyle, we appreciate you taking the time. We know you're busy, especially this week. Appreciate you answering emails and helping us out here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely, Kyle.
Anytime, man. We'll be rooting for you in Foley. I know it's just a chip shot at 50 yards now, so I mean it's going to be another year of monster scores in the known pro class.
It'll be a slugfest, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, all right. We appreciate it. Neil, we'll sit here and talk about some Oklahoma ASA real quick.
Absolutely, Kyle, man. Thank you, Kyle. Yeah, we had a big weekend at Trosper. We've had 2 weekends. We've had 130 and 150 roughly at our first 2 qualifiers of the year. Been great weather, been great turnouts. I had great food. Had Heath with Big Daddy's out here slinging onion burgers. He's been out 3 of the 4 days, and he has sold out every time he's come. So if you see Heath cooking burgers, don't wait. Get you one early. Don't wait till the end of the day because you might not get fed. But we appreciate Heath and all our host ranges, Ryan with the Bow Shack, and all the Trosper family, Mary and Chris and Simon and Travis and everybody that pulled it off. It's been a crazy big start to the 2026 season, and I don't know how it's growing this much this fast, but we've got a lot of these people are new. So there's a lot of people we didn't see at the first 2 qualifiers and still had real big numbers. And it's like, some 3D shooters, they don't get going until, April or May because it's a long season. There's plenty of them, but we're seeing a lot of new people come out to these events early.
That was weird.
You just get the Amber Alert on your phone?
Not yet. It hadn't come through. Was that yours?
Yeah, that was me. Somebody's missing or something. I don't know. Yeah, they're missing archery tournaments. What they're missing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been a good start to the season. I appreciate everybody coming out, sticking around for the team shoot's been awesome. I think we had 38 people in our team shoot this past Saturday. Maybe it was 36 or 38 people signed up for it. So we just run them in flights of 5. We're giving 20 targets away in 20 weekends. So all you got to do is pay $15 and find a partner, and you'll have a chance to win a target every single weekend. So that's been a lot of fun. Appreciate people sticking around for that. And the cool thing is you can warm up on them too. So if you don't want to shoot the bags in the morning, you can warm up on the 3D targets, and they're going to be somewhere probably right around the registration table. So that's been the biggest new thing for the Oklahoma ASA. If anybody's going to Foley, we've got a team dinner for Oklahoma. Bring your friends and family. We're going to Doc's Seafood Shack. The address is in the Facebook group. We're going to go Friday at 6 p.m. in Foley, Alabama. So after you shoot your Friday round, we're going to go eat seafood and hang out together. That was something we started doing, I think last year. That was a Scott Shields suggestion. He goes, man, we drive all the way out here and don't see each other. We ought to get together. So we're going to be doing that Friday at 6. So come one, come all. I might be a little bit late coming from the state director's meeting. I got to go talk about all the ins and outs of shooting foam and all that fun stuff. And if anybody needs a bunk, we've got 4 open bunks in a big Airbnb. If you need a place to stay, if you haven't decided to go to Foley yet, it's not too late. They let you register all the way. Yeah, you too, Dave. They let you register right there on site up until the first arrows are shot. So you got a place to stay. You can register, get your bow dialed in. If you're not dialed in, they got every vendor and every pro, every practice bag, practice 3D range, everything there to get you going. So give it a chance, give it a try. If you like shooting 3D, Foley's one of my favorites just because of the seafood and the warm weather. It's right on the beach. Let's see, going a mile a minute here.
Well, when are you leaving?
We're leaving out Wednesday morning, early. Yep.
Are y'all going to try? We were talking a little bit before. It's a Friday, Saturday this year. Do you try and put miles on coming back Saturday evening, or do you just sleep and then get up Sunday morning and head back?
I'm riding with Justin Parrish, and he just got a new truck, and he assures me I'm not allowed to drive it. So I'll be in the back snoring the entire time. If not, I'll be entertaining Carl. It's me and Justin and Carl are going out there. Tried to twist my dad's arm into going, but he's got projects he's working on at home and just couldn't pull away from him to go shoot an archery tournament. So we'll try to hit the next one, I guess. But yeah, we'll probably head back halfway Saturday and I don't want to get a hotel halfway through. I'll let those other guys decide that. But I just drive it straight through. I don't care if we get home at 4 a.m. I'm going to sleep all Sunday anyways, and be back shooting at H&H with Dave on Sunday morning.
Attaboy.
Yeah, it's still indoor season for somebody. I got to be there to shoot a couple 8s on Vegas face.
We're shooting that USA adult Joad Saturday over in Yukon.
There you go.
So yeah, Sunday might be a relaxing day. I don't know if I'll shoot or not, but
that's the same place they had the frozen okie, isn't it?
that is correct.
Are we allowed to talk about the frozen okie?
Oh, I don't know. We better be careful.
Yeah, I was gonna say they told us to not mention the frozen okie. So all right. So it's that one place in Yukon that they shoot archery at.
Yeah, we can mention them. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say
they're good. They
haven't been told not to talk about the Joad series yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
still trying to promote archery.
God forbid. Lord have mercy.
Realize in the last 15 seconds of us talking, we might have just caused more ripple in the archery in Oklahoma, them trying to figure out why we were told not to even bring it up. But you insiders know, we appreciate it. We're just trying to promote archery.
It's all good. I'll stick in my own little world there. I'll keep shooting 3D archery, and I'll hit as many NFAA stuff as I can. I love the NFAA because it's a whole style of guys that like shooting their bow. There's not prize money. They don't have the trophies and stuff and the buckles, but you're going to get to shoot some arrows. If you go shoot a field round or a 900 round or a blueface round, you're going to get your money's worth. You're going to get to shoot your bow. So that's my favorite thing about it.
I've got a text message. Yesterday, you and I was chatting and everything. Mm-hmm. I was trying to figure out the OSAA state
indoor 300 round.
Indoor state 300. And I don't know if it's Miles or Kelly, but up at the Aero Shop, yes, they are hosting it. And it is going to be February 27th, 28th, and March 1st.
Yep.
You must register to get there. Get a hold of them. There's a one Friday line. Then Saturday, there's 3 lines. Sunday, there's 2 lines. So if you want to shoot a 300 5 spot, get a hold of them, which I think it's a great thing, just the organization like that. But to me, it's a great warm-up for the next weekend at Indoor Nationals.
Yep, I say it's still paper dot shooting season. Go see Miles and Kelly at the Aero Shop. You're not going to find 2 nicer people. It's one of my favorite indoor ranges. The lighting's good. The people are good. It's going to be a good crowd up there. Highly encourage anybody that weekend. If you haven't got the itch out yet, or if you're going to be going to Indoor Nationals, go shoot your 60 arrows at the biggest 5 ring you've ever seen. I tell people blueface will cure all your, cure target panic. It'll cure, not being able to hanging up on the hinge, not being able to execute the button. You put that 5 ring out there like that, shooting a silver dollar sized X ring. That's a fantastic game to really just be comfortable for 60 arrows. And then you go shoot the Vegas round and everything. You over aim, you blow them out the side, the top, blow them out the bottom. But blueface is one of my favorites. You get to shoot twice as many arrows. So go see Miles and Kelly, February 27th, 28th, and March 1st.
Yes.
If you're already in 3D season by then, we've got 2 qualifiers that weekend, and you can shoot them both in one day. So we're not going to pull you away from shooting indoor if that's what you want to do. We've got 2 of them out east. One of them is in McAllister, that's Sanctuary Archery Range. That's going to be 9 a.m. start. And then we'll go 37 miles up the road to Allen, Oklahoma. That's Allen's Archer Range with Jake Linker. I think that's going to be about a 1:30 in the afternoon start. So both Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. at Sanctuary, 1:30 start time at Allen. We're going to have Heath there, I think, both days at Allen, cooking burgers before your afternoon round. And that's where we're going to do the team shoot also. It's got a little bit better spatial layout for us to be able to do that there. So I'll be at both ranges both days, so you can find me there. Don't worry about it. I might try to sneak up and shoot the Aero Shop on Friday. I'm not sure if I'll make that with all my stuff on my busy schedule, but You can shoot 3 archery tournaments if you want to this weekend. You can shoot one in a day, or you can shoot them both in a day. Make a weekend out of it.
It is going to be, just to let you know, 6 o'clock Friday.
6 o'clock.
So yeah.
It's not bad.
And then it's 9, 12, and 3, and then 9, 12. So yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah. So,
Man, that was I feel like that was a pretty fast paced episode. We only had Kyle for about 40 minutes, and I feel like we asked him his whole life story there.
yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was great having him like that. And folks, if y'all enjoy guests like that coming on versus just Oklahomans, give us some ideas. And if it's your third cousin to your mother's side, reach out for us and make the connection and say, hey, pull someone's chain and put them in touch with us. We'll take it from there.
Yeah, big thanks to Kyle. I know he's got as busy a schedule as anybody in the archery game, taking time to talk to us about a Lancaster win and 3D prep. So hats off to the guy. Probably one of, if not the best to ever do it. So
yeah,
it's something that and heck of a command shooter. He does something that a lot of people just can't mentally master at a high level, because I've tried it and I give it the flinch and the half shake, and I've never been able to figure out how to do archery that way. So it's fascinating seeing guys that can just do it at a high level and it never affects their ability to aim. It's cool to me.
Yep. And for it to be, I hate to say it like this, but it was taboo for many years.
Yeah. Everybody says don't punch it. It's like, well, no, you can 100% punch it unless it stops you from aiming. So if it's there, and Lawson Vet told me this 2 or 3 years ago, he said, if your pin's in it and you can see it and it's not moving, you might as well shoot it. It's like,
that's the way I live. I don't deny it.
I love it, man. Well, Dave, you get back to testing some new arrows, I hear.
Well, yeah, I've got another couple dozen coming. I'm getting a pile of them over here.
What are you putting together over there?
Well, what I've got here presently is some Black Eagle 25s, 350 spine, and some Black Eagle 23 350 spines, some X Impact Black Eagle 350 spine. Yes, those are 350 spine. And I'm going to tinker with them some 400 spine. See what they will with me. The 350s have been doing really well. I've turned in some great scores with them. I just feel that I could go the 400s, lower my weight just a little bit, and pick up some speed out of it. So
run a little bit more point weight too.
On the 25s, I'm going to leave it at the same point. I'm running 150 in the front of them right now. At the 23s, I've got 140s in the ones I presently have. I've got some 130 and 120 tips also for those. So I will bounce on them at first. That would be if I go outside to shoot a foam deer, that there's a chance that'll probably be the arrow I shoot. I was originally wanting those X Impacts. I was going to roll them the whole way through outdoors, but I don't know. I'll probably go with those 23s. Yeah,
that's fair. The PS23 is the best arrow I've ever shot. I shot nothing but 25s for the 2 or 3 years in a row there, and I bumped down to 23s. And it's just been a night and day difference as far as the forgiveness goes. So I've enjoyed mine.
When I shot PS before the Black Eagles, the 26s was mine. That was my go-to.
26s.
Man, those were money. So I was glad to get these 25s. Appreciate them helping me out, getting me some of these X Impacts and some of that. But I playing and toying. Yeah, I've got some different links over here. I don't think I'll be able to shoot, but I'm trying to get it to where I can keep them down the road. So yeah,
there you go. Oh, I'm gonna go fletch me up about 10 more arrows. I started some new ones, and I got 2 down, and I was like, man, I hate building arrows. I just can't do it anymore.
Well, you get out here and go do that. I think I might go sling the last few and call it good for the day.
Y'all be good. We will see you in Foley. If we don't see you in Foley, we'll see you at the next one.
Take care, guys.
Thanks, y'all.